Hello, here's Ms. Walsh. Today we're going to do day 5, and we're going to do the largest possible circle problem, or also known as toxic waste problem. Okay, we're going to need the distance formula today, so please keep that close to you. And basically the scope of today is that we are going to maximize distance from other points, okay? So if you have these 3 towns and you had to put the waste dump somewhere, where would you do this, right? You can't do it here because then you're quite close to the C. You can't do it somewhere here, then you're quite close to the B. Of course, it would be great if you could put it somewhere there away from everything. But for the scope of this problem, we're just going to assume that we're working within the areas of where the sites are located, okay? And so what ends up happening is that the furthest possible points from all of them is going to be at this vertex, okay? And if you have multiple vertices of where the edges are meeting, we're gonna have to just see which distance is the greatest, okay? So let's see this in practice. I'm sorry, I didn't give you the intersection points, so maybe just pause this. I actually went and found them, and if you wanted to do the exercise of find them, then remember, you know how to do this, right? So I found the perpendicular bisector of this, I found the perpendicular bisector of this, and then I got them to intersect. And then similar, I did that for this point, and then I also did it for this, and then these are points of intersections, okay? So if you're trying to figure out, if you're a burger bar, right, and there's already 4, where would you go? Again, sure, would be great to be somewhere here, but basically you want to be as far away within the context of our problem to this, and it ends up that either you're here, right, this is like the equal distance from these 3, or here. So the question really becomes so you have your 2 possibilities, E and F, okay? So really the question is, which one is further, okay? And so now this is what I mean that we're going to need our distance formula. Let's find out this distance. Again, remember, it's the biggest circle problem, right? So actually these are all equidistant from F. So what I could actually do is draw a circle here, and then I could also draw a circle this way, and we can just see which one has the biggest radius, right? That's where you want to put your burger joint. You want it to be further from them, okay? So finding the distance from this point, you can pick A or D or B. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick D, because I'm also going to test for this one with D, so I'm just going to use the same coordinate for both, okay? Again, you can use different coordinates. So the coordinate of D is 2, 5. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to find the distance of DF, okay? You have that distance formula over here, yeah? It's the difference in the x's squared and then the difference in the y's. All right, so here we go. So we're going to have 3.35 minus 2 squared, and then we're going to have 2.88 minus 5 squared. And go ahead and just type that in. I already have the answer here, and what you should end up with 2.51. So what that means is that's this distance right here. Okay. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing, and we're now going to find DE. So again, I'm just going to go a little bit higher here so I don't get in this way. So DE is going to be 5.5 minus 2, and then 4.5 minus 2. And if you type that in, then what you end up with is 3.54. So DE. So I mean, it already looked like this, right? But basically what that means is that the distances of these 3 burger bars are further away. Where's the third one? Further away from the E. So you would want to be opening your burger bar at E rather than at F. I hope that made sense. Let's do it again. So now we've got 4 coffee shops, which are shown in the Voronoi diagram, and then the business wishes to open a new coffee shop, right? But would like to be as far away as possible. Okay, so basically, again, if you look at this, yes, you could open here, but then you're close to A. Here, you are too close to D, and so on. And so it ends up that your two choices are P and Q. Okay, write down the coordinates of P. Well, if you look, actually, this point right here is 8, 5, and then this point right here is 8, 2. So if you just go halfway, then this line is 3.5. Okay, now look at this. So this point is 2, 2. And then this point is wait, what am I doing? Yeah, is 1. Nope, that's not the one that I need. I don't need A right now, sorry. Okay, sorry, let's just stay focused here. So this is at 2, 2, and this is at 8, 2, and so this equation, it's a vertical line, is x equals to 5. Okay, so this is your x, this is your y, and so the coordinates of your coordinate P is just going to be 5, 3.5. Okay, all right, find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB and BD, and hence find the coordinates of the vertex Q. So we're going to have to do all this work. Fine. Okay, let's first find the midpoint of, so we're going to be working with B and D. So we're going to be looking for this line, right? That's what we're looking for. Okay, so time to go home. Not for us. All right, so this is going to be, remember the midpoint formula, 2 plus 8 divided by 2, and then this is going to be 2 plus 5, so 7 divided by 2, so the midpoint is 3.5. Okay, and then the slope of BD is going to be, so each one is 1 unit, always check the scale, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 3 up and 6 over, or it's a half, which means that the perpendicular slope is going to be ta-da, -2, okay? So what does that mean? That means that your equation is going to be y equals mx plus b. I'm just going to substitute it right away. We've done this a number of times. 5 plus b. So this is going to be minus 10 plus 10. So then this will end up being 13.5. Okay. And so we end up with y is equal to minus 2x plus 13.5. Okay, that's our first one. All right, I'm going to switch colors so it doesn't get too messy. And so now we're going to do exactly the same thing with, I did BD first. Okay, so now I'm going to do AB, okay? It doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're going to do AB. So I'm going to hurry it up a little bit so that this video doesn't drag on. Again, take your A, take your B, tuck, 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 and then you'll end up with a midpoint of 1.5 and 4. And then remember the lower one is always the slope. What's the slope of AB? The slope is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 to the left, so the slope is -4, which means that our slope is always perpendicular, so it's a quarter. And so now just sub in the point into mx plus b, so it's 4 and then 1.5 plus b. Take it to the other side. What is this? Something small, and then this is going to be 3.625, and so therefore our second equation is going to be 1/4 x plus 3.625. Okay, almost done. So what we're going to do now is so we found this line, right? So perpendicular bisector of AB. So we found this line, and now we found this line, and this now allows us to find Q. Okay, so now let's throw it into the calculator. Put in those two equations, and then just find their intersection. Okay, so then it's minus 2x plus 13.5, and then 1.4 x plus 3.625. All right, hit plot. Don't even care if I see them or not. Okay, so we get 4.39 rounded and 4.72. Okay, so what that means is our Q coordinate is 4.39 and 4.72, okay? And then our P, I'm just going to label it while I'm at it, is 5.3.5. All right, so now the question where would you recommend that the new shop is placed? So again, this is just like the last question, right? So now Q is equidistant from A, B, and D. And so that's what that circle would look like. And then for P, it's equidistant from B, C, and D. And that's what that circle will look like. So we're interested in which one has the smaller radius, okay? So here we go. We're going to invoke the distance formula again. I'm going to use point B just because I'm going to have to, I can use it for both, okay? All right, so let's find the BQ. So 4.39 minus 2, and then 4.72, 3.62. And again, you can pause it, do it on your own. And so now let's check the same, what the distance is from B to P. Okay, and so we're going to have 5 minus 2 squared plus 3.5 minus 2 squared, type it in, and so you end up, ooh, super close, but nonetheless, this is further away. So if you're opening a coffee shop, you are going to want it right here because it is indeed further. All right, on that note, hopefully that made sense. Good luck. Bye.